Up next, I've got another roadside find from Spring Cleanup. This time it's an Onkyo AV receiver. Not my favorite, but we're going to give this one a shot. See if we can get this one working. Let's check it out. This time I have an Onkyo. This one's a TXNR525 AV receiver. This is another side of the road find. Don't know anything about it yet. Haven't hooked it up. Haven't plugged it in. It may even work for all I know. But it was another one that was somebody tossed out for spring cleanup. And this is not that old a unit. So there's probably something wrong with it. But let's hook it up and see. Check out the back on this one. It has 6 HDMI inputs and 1 output. Component in and out. And it has 4 video inputs and 1 monitor out. Optical and coaxial, 2 coaxial and 1 optical input. Antenna input, USB input on it, and as well as Ethernet for direct connecting for your internet radio stuff. Again, I don't know anything about this unit. Someone may have disposed of this because they wanted to go to a 4K receiver. I don't know. I don't even know what this thing does. So let's turn it on and see first of all whether it does anything. This looks similar to. Actually, this looks similar to my old one. My old one was an HTRC370. That's the one that did the DSP chip. Or the BGA, I guess it was, that I had to reflow, and it ran for a couple more years, and then it started giving me trouble. So I took it out of service. Okay. It turns on. We'll see whether this thing will do anything. I didn't hear a click, so there's a good chance that it is dead. It's in protection mode. We'll just see whether it'll pick anything up off the radio. FM. Okay, no sound. So this one has no sound at all. Let's see here whether there's any buttons on here that are... Okay, so let's pull this thing apart. See why it's not working. The screws were all loose on this. You can see someone's been into this unit. Screws were all loose. Some of them were a bit stripped. So somebody has been into this unit before. So, oh yeah, someone's been heating a chip. Looks like someone's taking a blowtorch to that one. That's going to be the problem. This is probably someone that watched my video when I fixed mine and got mine running. And they've tried to reball that chip or reflow that chip themselves. This is going to definitely be the problem on this one for sure. This is that era of these units that were just terrible. Terrible machines. So we can try heating it up and see whether that'll bring this on. But it looks like somebody's already gone to town. And it's lots of... It's almost like it's burned. Somebody's certainly thrown a lot of heat on this thing, that's for sure. But good chance that's the fault right there. Because that was a fault on a lot of these Onkyos. Unfortunately, they were just terrible. Piece of crap design. They used that Texas Instruments chip. And, well, as you can see, this one's quite the mess that someone's left in here. Try cleaning that up first, and then we'll see if I can throw some heat on it. Actually, I'll throw my heat gun on there right now and just see whether it'll bring this thing back to life. I think someone's already cooked the crap out of this one trying to make it work. Which is unfortunate. I'll try the halogen bulb on it. I'll leave that sit here for a while and see whether anything will start up on here. I got it hot with the heat gun, nothing happened, so I don't expect any miracles, but we'll just set the halogen lamp right on top and see whether this thing will actually kick in. That way we'll prove. I know it's going to be that anyway, but we'll do that and just see whether anything happens. Probably wishful thinking at this point. I got mine to run several times over the years. Like mine ran for a couple years and then started acting up again, so then I started putting the lamp on it. Let the lamp sit for about 10 minutes or so and it would work. It would work for another couple months, and then it started to become a shorter and shorter. I think the first time I did it on my other amp, it ran for I think 2.5 years without any trouble. And then I did it again and it ran for about 6 months, and then it kicked out again, and then I did it again and it ran for a couple weeks, and then it started to become almost a daily ritual where I would put the light on it, let it sit for a few minutes, and then it would kick in and run, and it would run until it was shut off. And I even got to the point where I even put a fan on mine. I put a heat sink on it to cool it down. Made no difference. I put a fan on it, made no difference, and I finally got tired of having to do this. Like every couple days, I'd get yelled at from the other room that there was no sound, and I'd go and put the light bulb on it. And finally I got fed up and I just found another receiver and replaced it with one that doesn't have that DSP chip, I might add. It's another Onkyo. It's an older receiver, a year older, that does not have that DSP chip. And touch wood, I've been good, as they say. But if I were to replace it again, I would replace it probably with a Yamaha. That's my personal favorite right now for sound systems. And the only reason I was sticking with the Onkyo was because my Harmony remote that I used, I got locked out of the account and I couldn't change the brand. I couldn't reprogram my remote for anything, and I couldn't get back in. Updated my computer and the version of software I had would not work, because of course Harmony has gone to cloud-based. All their newer remotes are all cloud-based, and mine's the old 880. But I was able to find an old copy of the Harmony, I think it's Harmony 7 software that I'm using. I was using Harmony 6, and then they updated to Harmony 7, and they, you tried to load the old version, and it came up and said, a new version of this software is available, and you must install the new version. And that was where the problem happened, is I couldn't get into my account. When I upgraded my software, I could not get into my account. And for the life of me, I could not remember the account email that I had used or the password that I used, because I wrote it down and then couldn't find where I wrote it. And then eventually I did find that where I wrote it down and got access to my account. So now I can program my Harmony remotes again. So I got 2 of them, and I got 2 different accounts, and I made it nice and easy. I made it a password that any idiot will remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, that's another story. So when my existing app finally does pack it in, personally, I'd probably go with the Yamaha. I like the Yamaha receivers. They seem to be as well built, if not better built, than most of the other ones. I see some smoke coming off here now, so I take it that the flux is starting to heat up here on the board. So if it's just a BGA problem, it might resolve itself and the sound kick in. I guess we'll find out. Well, that made no difference. I got that thing heat up so it was super hot. So the chip itself is probably toast. I mean, someone's obviously throwing a lot of heat on there, and you can tell from the discoloration. Just before I condemn this thing, I'm just going to pull out the driver board on this and just take a look at the drivers. Wouldn't it be something if it was a bad connection on one of the drivers that was causing this thing to not start up? Wouldn't that be the cat's ass? I'd laugh like hell if that was the case. I don't expect that to be the case, but judging from the last Onkyo that I just had, where indeed that was the problem, was a connection. Although it was going into shutdown, and this was not. It had a little different symptom on that one. But it's worth checking it out to see, since I'm already into it anyway, and it's easy to pull the board out to inspect the transistors. Okay, so here's a close-up of the driver transistors, and I don't know about you, but I don't think they should do that. Now, I don't think that's what's causing my problem on this one. I really don't, but this one over here certainly is not good. I'll just, for the hell of it, just reflow those transistors and plug it back in. And who knows? I doubt that it's going to make any difference. See, this same board would have been used in the 7-channel. This is a 5-channel. This is just a 5-channel, but the same board would have been used in the 7-channel with the additional connector here and additional components on this board. So this is a board that would be used across the entire line. Lead-free solder crap. Stuff is just brutal. Okay, I'll throw a couple of screws in for grounding, and then we can plug it in and turn it on again and just see if anything else happens. Nope. I'm going to say, sorry Charlie, this one here is the DSP chip that shot on here, which goes on all of these, this thing here. So this is a very, very common failure on all these amplifiers. Unfortunately, it's a known fault. Onkyo covered them for an additional, I think, 5 years. They extended the warranty to 5 years because they failed so often. Of course, the customer is responsible for the shipping charges to ship it to Onkyo's one and only authorized service center, and the cost of shipping the unit, as they say, I have an older one or one similar to this, a couple models down, but same board, same DSP, same problem. It's well, this is the receiver that made me lose all faith in Onkyo. All these ones that have this design, they all 100% failure on them. So this one's not going to get repaired. This one's just going to go into my parts storage because it's got transistors and stuff in here that may be useful for other things that don't involve the DSP. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.